Please join me in welcoming Congressman Seth Magaziner.
Well, good morning, everybody. It's a real honor to be back and to welcome all of you to Rhode Island. How many first-timers do we have in Rhode Island? Not very many. Okay, that's good. That's good. Well, my understanding is that my colleagues from the delegation, Jack and Sheldon and Gabe, have already been through here, so I'm the final act of the welcoming committee. So I get you all when you are hopefully well fed and maybe a little hungover, but not gone yet. So I want to start by thanking everyone at SENEDIA for the important work that you do to bring us all together in a spirit of collaboration and innovation, all in the common pursuit of our national defense. So thank you, Colin. Thank you, Molly McGee. Thank you to the Tims, Fox and Del Judas, and everyone else involved with SENEDIA, and to all of the industry partners and DoD partners who are here today as well. So this is our 11th annual event. We are so proud to host it here in Newport, Rhode Island. I feel like now the expectations have been heightened that you're going to get a history lesson from me every year. That was not my intent. I went off script last year and wasn't planning on doing it this year. But I will note that we had a very important anniversary yesterday. I don't know if anyone is aware of this, but 250 years and 1 day ago in East Greenwich, Rhode Island, right across the bay from here, the Rhode Island General Assembly met and voted to purchase 2 ships to defend the colony against encroachment by the British. Those 2 ships were then sold to the Continental Navy when the Continental Congress voted in October to form what is now the U.S. Navy. So in a very real sense, the United States Navy was born 250 years and 1 day ago right here in Rhode Island in East Greenwich. The official Navy birthday we know is in October. That comes in a few months. That marks when the Continental Congress voted to establish the U.S. Navy. But Rhode Island was ahead of the curve, as we tend to be, and a couple months earlier had actually voted to purchase the first ships in the service of the defense of this new country 250 years and 1 day ago. Fast forward a couple of decades, and further up north from here in Pawtucket, Rhode Island, Samuel Slater opened the first textile mill in the United States, launching the Industrial Revolution in America. So here in Rhode Island, you have the birthplace, essentially, of the United States Navy and the birthplace of American manufacturing. So those 2 threads have come together over the course of the last 200-plus years to make Rhode Island a hub and a leader in naval innovation in the service of defense of our country. So it is no surprise that you all would be coming together here in Newport, in Rhode Island, to continue that tradition of innovation in naval technology in the defense of our country. There's a lot more. Last year, I went on for a long. To be honest with you, I was filibustering a little bit last year. I didn't have full remarks, and so we talked about Oliver Hazard Perry, and we talked about Harrishoff, and I'm going to skip all of that. But this is today just to reinforce the point that there's a reason we're doing this here in Rhode Island. It's because we're the birthplace both of the Navy and of United States manufacturing, and it all comes full circle. So welcome back. We are here in an increasingly unfortunately, uncertain time. We are very proud of the fact that we have such a strong defense innovation cluster here in Rhode Island with tens of thousands of jobs in defense, both through the armed services, our contractors, civilian contractors, and the like. But we do it in a context where the world is an increasingly dangerous place. From China to Russia, across the developing world, unfortunately, many countries have backslid into authoritarianism and have become more aggressive in their pursuit of power. Because dictators know that when citizens see democracy flourish anywhere in the world, they will naturally yearn for freedom themselves. And so in this context of heightened authoritarianism, democratic backsliding around the world, the freedom that we enjoy here in the United States continues to be a threat to these authoritarian governments around the world who understand that their own people will not be happy with them the more they see what we have here in the United States and that our allies, our democratic allies around the world, have as well. Much of the aggression by autocratic nations occurs in the world's oceans and seas. You see that all over the world, from the Pacific, the Atlantic, and everywhere in between. America's Navy, especially our submarine fleet, are some of the most vital advantages we have in our defense of democracy around the world. In Congress, I am proud, along with my colleagues from Rhode Island, to vocally support the Navy's submarine program because I understand that the submarine program is the greatest deterrent that we have relative to our adversaries and potential adversaries. We must continue the work in support of our production target, the 2-in-1 target for Virginia and Columbia, collaborate with our allies as a force multiplier by delivering on and protecting the AUKUS agreement. As we have scaled up our submarine program, we have also been reminded that a major mobilization of this nature requires spending on our industrial base across the board. Yes, that means infrastructure and shipyards, but it also means the workforce. It means housing and childcare for workers, road and bridge and port infrastructure, support for workforce recruitment and retention. I was able to add an amendment to the NDA last year to expand the SkillBridge program to suppliers in the submarine industrial base, because one of the things that we found as we worked to help EB meet their hiring quotas is that, at least initially, a lot of that talent was coming from their suppliers, and we had to work to help the suppliers maintain their staffing as well. And this all means starting young with more funding for career and technical education programs, apprenticeship programs, and the like. One of the real success stories I think that we've had here in Rhode Island over the last decade is that the state, in partnership with the federal delegation, has really invested, starting in the not high school but middle school level, in building out career and technical education, particularly in the trades, in part to benefit the defense industrial base. And we have some great private sector partners here as well who have been very collaborative and, I think, far-sighted in those efforts. I've learned in past SENEDIA conferences not to start calling out individual companies, because we now have so many in Rhode Island that are doing such incredible work, but you all know who you are, and you know who each other is. The unmanned underwater vehicle industry is also crucial for the future of undersea warfare and is a growing industry here in Rhode Island. We see this in the Black Sea, where Ukraine, a country without a traditional navy, has essentially neutralized Russia, a country with a large conventional navy, primarily through the use of unmanned systems. That is the future, and that is something that we need to be ahead of the curve on, learn those lessons from the Black Sea, and apply them here at home. Rhode Island is a growing hub for research and development, testing, and production of UUVs in support of the U.S. Navy in its global mission, and that presence of UUV innovation continues to grow here in our state. Finally, as a member of the Homeland Security Committee and a successor to Jim Langevin, I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't highlight the importance of maintaining our strength in the cyber domain as well. More than anywhere else, this is where our adversaries have been most aggressive in directly attacking the United States, spreading misinformation designed to undermine Americans' confidence in our democracy, in our institutions, hacking into critical infrastructure, government agencies, and private companies, particularly in the defense space, but also outside of the defense space, developing artificial intelligence and quantum computing capabilities, and stealing our intellectual property to rival our own success. I've been working in Congress, doing my best to live up to Jim's example, to shore up our nation's defense to cyber attacks. That means standing up for funding for CISA and for other cyber efforts across the entire federal government, and for DHS grants to bolster emergency preparedness and infrastructure security. So, as we celebrate the 250th anniversary of the Navy and approach the 250th anniversary of our nation's founding, we are reminded that American democracy is still the beacon that billions of people around the world look to for inspiration. Our American experiment is only possible because of the deterrent that our naval strength poses to our adversaries. President Washington once said that it follows then as certain as the night succeeds the day that without a decisive naval force we can do nothing definitive, and with it, everything honorable and glorious. Thank you all for the role that each of you play in defending our country, maintaining the peace, and ensuring that our democratic system will endure for another 250 years and beyond. Thank you.